This guy's career, when he first came to major prominence during his coup years and later on the NHL, my God, he was the talk of the town in many ways, on a good way, because one of the strongest and most protective enforcers of his era. But unfortunately, he was a subject of racial incidents on and off the ice, just because he happened to be a handsome black man that was 6'7" and wasn't scared of anybody. I've never seen any player be so polarizing for fans. Either really love him, or do you feel that he's a person that's kind of he wants people to not say pity him, but to basically take it easy on him or whatever. But for me, I'm on the first level. I really respect this guy. He was a teammate of my good friend Gordy Dwyer on the Q side, and I wouldn't want this guy get the guy angry, because they say he's 6'7", 250, but I think he's more 6'7" and a half and 280, or was. And of course, we're going to talk about the very talented and very underrated player Peter Worrell. Now, Peter J. Worrell is now a retired Caribbean Canadian pro hockey player. He played 7 seasons in the NHL for Florida and Colorado. Now, during that time, he was considered again one of the most feared enforcers in the game, known for his great one-punch shots like Clark Gillies. Now, he led major junior in penalty minutes in '97 across Canada, as well as in the 2002 season in NHL. Now, 2008, he turned his talent to being assistant coach with the Fayetteville Marksmen of the Southern Professional Hockey League. Now, born August 1877 in Piafo, Quebec, a very, very good community known for his great athletes. He was a left winger. Now, as a youth, Worrell really stood out, literally and figuratively, by playing in the 1991 Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament with a minor hockey squad from the North Shore of Montreal. Now, Worrell was a member of the Hull team, the Olympic, for 3 junior seasons. During those 3 seasons, he was part of 2 Q championship teams in 95 and 97, and part of the 97 Memorial Cup winning squad. Now, he totaled, get this ladies and gentlemen, 464 minutes and penalties during the 96 season, which was the 5th highest total in league history. Now, Worrell also scored 23 goals and 36 assists for a total of 59 points in 63 games that year. The following campaign, his final in junior, he improved his point total by to 63 in 62 games, despite his goals decreasing to just 17. He had a goal and 3 assists in these 4 Memorial Cup contests. By the end of his junior career, Worrell had collected close to 1,200 penalty minutes while scoring 131 points. Now, Worrell was eventually selected by the Florida Panthers, late round pick, 166th overall in a 95 draft. Florida didn't really know what they're going to get with him, because he was known for his enforcer role, but they weren't sure they can develop into a defensive style goal scorer with a little bit of two-way play. Now, the 7th round draft, came before his final season with the Olympic, and he started off in '97 with the Beast of New Haven, the AHL. The '98 season, he saw him make his debut with the Panthers, where he played 19 games and put up 153 minutes and penalties, but didn't score a point. Now, on February 8, '99, he scored his first goal in the game versus the Blues, and during the 2000 campaign, he unfortunately missed 34 games with a knee injury, but managed to match his 9 points total from the previous year. The season also saw Worrell being involved in a notorious incident with New Jersey Devils defenseman Scott Niedermayer. After a collision along the boards where Worrell appeared to elbow Niedermayer in the face, Niedermayer hit Worrell on the top of the helmet with his stick. A scrum ensued, and as Worrell was being escorted off the ice by the refs, he made throat-slashing gestures to the Devils bench. Now, Niedermayer was eventually suspended for 10 games, which included the Devils' final 9 regular season contests in their first playoff match, and Worrell missed 6 games after suffering a concussion. Now, on July 18 to 2003, he was traded from the Panthers along with second-round draft pick in the 2004 draft to Colorado for Eric Messier and Vaclav Nedoros. Worrell missed the first 27 games of the season with another knee injury, but made his Avalanche debut on December 11, 2003, his first game in 8 months. Worrell played in 49 games for Colorado that year, collecting 3 goals and assists. Now, it was his lowest NHL point total. He had marked the first time that he was a plus player, ending the season with a +2 rating. Now, following his first campaign with the Avalanche, the NHL lockout caused the cancellation of the 2005 season, and he did not play professionally during the lockout, like many other NHLers, and considered himself retired. However, once the NHL returned, Worrell decided that he would attempt to make a comeback and sign with the Rangers. They assigned him to the Hartford Wolfpack in the AHL, but never played a game for them. Hartford then sent Worrell to the Charlotte Checkers of the ECHL to work on his conditioning. Worrell eventually played 37 games for Charlotte, and it was the last time he played at the the major minor pro level. Now, in 2010, it was announced that Worrell would become the head coach of the Florida Atlantic University Hockey Club team. He is also coached with the North Broward Preparatory School varsity ice hockey team, which is located in Coconut Creek, Florida. Now, again, he works for Fayetteville, or has worked for Fayetteville, over the years. Now, talk about the racist aspect of his career. There's been numerous allegations that Worrell has brought up, and other people have brought up about verbal battles with the fans and players on the ice. Now, during his career, Worrell has said in published reports he had to deal with numerous occasions of racism beginning in juniors. For the uninitiated, hockey is still a very racist sport. In football, I don't think you're going to see racial taunts on the field as much as hockey. Unfortunately, in hockey, most of the black players that have excelled in the highest level. And you look at certain players that reach a level of success, the other teams were using any means necessary to bring them down. Now, Worrell said that spectators used to throw bananas at him while he was in the penalty box, and a fan once with a bullhorn yelled out, "Go back to Africa," and someone once brought a sign out that read, 6'6" of pure shit, go back to hell. Now, these are just a few examples of the racism that Worrell endured, which he's talked about in various video and podcast interviews over the years. Now, this did not stop after juniors. Now, allegedly, while playing the Capitals in a 1977 game, Craig Berube, a big enforcer for the Caps, called Worrell a monkey. Now, Berube received a 1-game suspension for the league for his actions. In a 98 game for Tampa Bay, Darcy Tucker and Aboriginal and black player Sandy McCarthy. I talked to Sandy before, and I know him to be a mixed race individual. They allegedly taunted Worrell by making ape-like gestures to him, while all three were in their respective penalty boxes. Now, following the game, Tucker and Worrell got in an argument when Tucker, according to a Panthers staff member, called Worrell a big ape. The NHL investigated the incident, reviewing videotape, interviewed players and employees of both teams, off-ice and on-ice officials, and arena and security personnel. The NHL concluded there was insignificant evidence to support the claims. Also in '98, Flyers forward Chris Gratton was alleged to have used a racial slur against Worrell following a scuffle in the game. A newspaper reporter claimed that he read Gratton's lips and printed the story. Gratton denied using the slur, telling reporters, "We had some stuff behind the net. What I says was, learn how to play the game, basically with a couple of words I don't want to use." Worrell helped to clear Gratton's name when he told the NHL that he never heard the slur. Now, Worrell has been a person that has drawn a lot of interest in recent years because he's very open about the problems he had with the NHL. But I can tell you this, he did receive racist taunts. I've seen incidents occur. I didn't hear them, but I saw certain movements towards him, and something was going on. But really hurt Worrell. Again, being a big guy, those knee injuries he had really hampered his production, especially his time with Florida and Colorado. But the penalty minutes he put up, let's put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. 95 would haul 243 minutes in penalties, but he had 464 minutes in penalties in 96, but he still scored 34 goals combined in playoffs and a regular season, so he was a good scorer. But he would take up penalty minutes, and that's kind of deceiving because the Q had would tack on penalties, misconducts, match misconducts. So if you look at it in a 62 game season or 65 game season, if you average 8 minutes a game, that could be a major and a fighting minor. It adds up. So he was always in the mix somewhere. And double misconducts and all that were quite common back then. They were cracking down. I once covered and did a book for a game in an NBIAA hockey game in Tallahassee many years ago, and we had 385 minutes in penalties, and most of them were 10-minute misconducts for, not say third man in, but you're sent off for disrespecting the ref or whatever. So it is what it is. So all I know is this: decent NHL totals, 391 games, 46 points, 19 goals, and 1,554 minutes in penalties. And of course that 02 season where he had 354 minutes in penalties, but played 79 games. Every time he skated on the ice, ladies and gentlemen, he opened up the area for the other players. But I mean, that time in Hull, ladies and gentlemen, Hull was just rocking. Like I said, the Memorial Cup winners. He was a big part, and he's part of Quebec hockey history to the level where he's not only one of the biggest players of all time in the Q. Is the fact is he had a presence. Very interesting individual to talk to. Very interesting personality. Very cerebral, and people from the Caribbean, they're very, very well spoken in relation to their professions. And I know it's a weird reference, but if you hear him talk about his time in hockey, it's like he's talking in the first person. You could do a book with just one question. You ask him, let's say, what it was like to play in a road in some of the rougher rinks in the Q League. He could probably go on for days. He's a great storyteller, and I think he should write his own book one of these days. I would definitely recommend any type of publication house to pick him up as an author, and it'd be a great read. So that's the story of the great Tony, Mr. Worrell. Excuse me, Peter Worrell. I will say Tony because there's another Tony Worrell I used to call a couple of years ago. Again, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget that era of the mid-2000s was the last big era of the goon, and that's what we're kind of talking about a little bit here. And to call him a goon would be understatement. He was more in an enforcer, a protector. Have a good day. Bye.